maybe. Star Gatwa reporting not long for the Doctor role as season 3 plans remain up in the air. 100% believe this. 100% believe this. Apparently, they hate him at Cardiff now. It's all fun and cute while things are good. But when things turn to shit, as they have done, nobody likes your fun, cute, twerking shit anymore. Bottom line, you cried, you boo-hooed, and you snogged your way through your season, and nobody fucking liked it. New report reveals that Ncuti Gatwa still on Doctor Who Time Lord could be nearing its end. Thank God. Once again, season 3 is far from guaranteed, despite the second batch of episodes having been shot. Yeah, season 2's been shot. A few months ago, we learned that Doctor Who isn't as safe as fans expected. We ought to be safe for months. I'm sorry. BBC and Disney Plus teamed up with Rusty Davis' splashy new revival of the long-running sci-fi series. Now, they may well continue on their own or with a different streaming partner, right? I don't see a world in which the BBC backtracks from their insane, hateful worldview, where you have to put trans and gay people in everything. Like, what would happen if you had a show which didn't have any gay people in? Like, what would happen? Like, how would the world implode? Right? One show with no gay people, right? Raisin didn't take it off in the way executives expected, and Disney Plus must be getting their involvement in the show. They said it's going to be fabulous. They're going to think it was the best thing ever. We're going to be huge. Trouble is, the Doctor Who you made was propaganda shit. Right? I think it's the best way of describing it. Propaganda shit. Genuinely bad, right? Genuinely bad. Low in quality, right? Season show has already been shot last week, and who've been receiving the news of good news, as she said, did a second season this year, Christmas special coming up, and we're filming a third season next year. Cut! It's been amazing being Doctor Who. Deadline via Sci-Fi Gazette has spoken to BBC with the channel claiming it didn't request any alterations to what Gatwa said. Bullshit. People just, you just edit things out on a whim, right? We edit one, clumsy word out on a whim. Bullshit. That is total and complete bullshittery. And you know it. Bullshit. It's been amazing. It said the change was put down to wanting to liven up the interview. Bullshit. However, spokesman states, as we previously stated, the decision on the season 3 will be made after season 2 transmits. And as always, we don't comment on speculation. That means unless season 2 does well, it's toast. Now, would they continue a lower budget version? Right? I hope so. I certainly hope so. A cheaper version of Doctor Who would be much better, frankly. The money they're spending, the levels of management they could strip out without Disney would make life so much cheaper right there. Which is where a lot of that extra budget is going. It's not going on screen. The trades that the Doctor Who Season 2 will likely air in the spring. Disney remains uncertain about whether it will continue to co-produce the show beyond 2025. The BBC is unlikely to give up the series, but Disney walks away. The House of Mouse departure would lead to a significant budget cuts. They would. It appears also the series is close to losing Gatwa because a source tells that he might not be long for the job due to his exploring other roles. Well, that's the thing. If he's not filming next year, his schedule must be booked, right? Any actor of his, where he is in his career, they keep telling us he's incredibly in demand, and I believe he is. I mean, I think he's not very good. I haven't seen him be good in anything as yet. But I believe he's in demand, would be booked up for 2 years. Right? I'm sorry. I don't believe he doesn't know if he's... I think he's booked in for Doctor Who, but he might be in for a shock. Right? That's where I think they are right now. They're booked in for Doctor Who on the belief they're going to get it. I don't think they're going to get it. And he wouldn't be shooting... they would be shooting it in 2025. I can see them starting in late 2025. Right? I think they're probably they're as ramped up to go as possible. Right? But really, I guess you've got to write 2 sets of season, whatever the season is, right? One low budget, one big budget. But yeah, look, it's just not work. I'm sorry. No one's interested in your queer stories. That doesn't mean we hate gay people. We're just not interested in your queer fucking stories. All the time, queer fucking stories. Again, that doesn't mean we hate anyone. It's it just means that I wouldn't expect you to be interested in my Jewy fucking story. I mean, I tell them all the time, right? But I wouldn't expect you to be, interested in my Jewy fucking stories, right? I schmooze about them when I'm on, I schmooze about when I'm on the channel, but it's not like my content. It's I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's I wouldn't make Doctor Who all Jewy fucking stories, right? I think that. I mean, my channel can be Jewy stories. The Rabbi of that fucking planet. What do you think? What do you think a Rabbi is? So yeah, it's gonna be a bit fucking Jewy, right? But I'm not gonna take over DC Comics and have them all suddenly become Jewy. Right? That would be weird, right? The rise of Disney parting ways of Doctor Who has been described as a disaster by one source. In July, Disney is expected to step in once war between land and sea wrap spin-ups. A decision will be made quickly. Source believes season 2 finale has been shot to allow Gatwa to move on from the series, hinting that it'll be another creative might take place. Oh, please! Give it to Toby Whithouse. Oh, Toby. Oh, J. Michael Straczynski. He still wants it. Give it to somebody. He's going to do Doctor Who, not queer stories all the fucking time. Your Jewish stories are far more entertaining than anything since about it. Well, listen, that's a low bar, baby. Paul Tozer,
I bought them all. Apart from the Rizzlers, I was a Starburst DWB reader and a DWM reader.
Indeed. And again, you put in a copy of Rabbi Spank Bank with it, you just got a good evening. By the way, I do like the caption. The Rabbi, why are all the pages of Doctor Who magazine stuck together? But not this. Best not to ask, says Sylvester. You're right, Sylvester. Best we don't know. It's too disgusting. So my basic contention is this: that things were so much better in 1988 without cell phones, without interwebs. We had CFAX, but that's basically it. Yeah, without that, even what I would class as very bad Doctor Who was way better than what we have today. Like I was going to be doing about Silver Nemesis. What are your feelings on Silver Nemesis?
Shocking, absolutely fucking shocking. The very worst classic Doctor Who story, in my opinion.
Wow! I'm really sorry. Okay, and this was somebody who loves Delta and the Bannerman.
And if you want the special edition where you get a lot more footage and adds more story to it, even worse. Worse.
No, I can't argue with you there. Yeah, I mean, the
terrible.
I think the for me the worst offense of it was
Sylvester's quite good, isn't it? So Sophie, come to think of it.
Who was good at it? I like the new Cybermen. Okay, personal story. Do you remember Seven's models?
Yeah.
Right, they did these awesome. Let's pull up some pictures of them. They did these awesome kits of.
I never bought one. I would never have had the patience to put one of those things together. But my God, you could see they were the Rolls Royce of the model makers.
I did, and they were awesome. And they weren't hard to put together. Here, I'm just putting up some pictures of them. All right, here, there's that one. And I didn't get the Red Dwarf. I really should have got the Kreiter one. They did a good Captain Black as well.
Did they do Red Dwarf ones?
Yeah. I'm just pulling out what it looked like inside the kit. Okay, the sales was just awesome. Here, 1 second. So they started off here. Man, these are all too small. Here, let me share the screen. Share screen. It started with the Dalek, and then with Davros. They had Ice Warriors. They had. Let's see if we can find a bigger quality.
The Ice Warrior was the last one I remember them doing, but they probably did some after that.
No, they did a bunch after that, right? The Ice Warriors are like the second or third one, right? That's big when I was going to Doctor Who conventions, right? Yeah. And I got to, I met him and I chatted with them. Oh, 1 second. Oh, here's the Ice Warrior. This is the ad from Doctor Who magazine. Oh, yeah, we pulled this up. Doink. Right, and okay, so when I got the Ice Warrior...
That's the ad I remember, yeah, the Ice Warrior.
Right, so when I got it, I never seen a story with the Ice Warriors in, right? I just know they looked incredible. This was before Seeds of Death had come out in the awful edited form, right? But yeah, so anyway, I because I spoke to them a few times at conventions, right? I had like a week off where I was working or something, or a couple of days off, and I really wanted to buy a Cyberman one from him, right? And again, this is what they look like. They were very easy to put together. The Cyberman one especially, right? Essentially, you just glue all the bits together, sand them down, so there's no seam, and spray it silver. And it looked awesome, right? It really looked
I would not have had the patience to even do that.
Oh, right.
Sanding stuff down? No.
It's like that was really a mild pink. Let's fucking find that.
I'll look at them after other people have put them together. Thank you.
Oh no, I used to like put them together. Oh yeah, here's the Red Dwarf Crichton. And a second, is it going to be too small as well? Doink. And they did very good, like Captain Black and Captain Scarlet, which was very much in vogue at the time.
They were beautiful. Yeah. I remember that. Of course I do.
Right.
Yeah.
1 second. Captain Scarlet.
Doesn't look a great deal like Robert Llewellyn in the face, but
I know. But just there was no much like these out at the time.
No.
Right, and they were so incredibly screen accurate. When he went to get his get a license, the model they got back from their people who designed who made the demo was garbage. So he made it into an exterminated version, and somehow he was able to sell it. Right, he got the license. So good for him. Anyway, right. So I was talking to him. Said, is there any way I can get a Cyberman one in London? I need because that's where I lived. Right, again, the Cyberman was incredible, and they weren't cheap either. How much were they? 16 inches tall, right? Oh, so is this shipping?
That could have been another thing that put me off. If it would have cost me, like, if I could get four or five Doctor Who paperbacks for the price of this, then I'd always go with the books.
Oh, no, I would much rather have this. But how much are they? It doesn't say it.
I had zero shelf space, though, and a very clumsy parent who liked to dust and polish every day. So, again.
Well, yeah, then you would be. It doesn't say how much they are. Can you see anywhere where it says how much they are?
Yeah, where it says UK, USA, Canada, it says
is that shipping or is that
$15.95 per kit.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, $15.95 in '88. That was quite reasonable, right? Anyway. So I phoned him up and said, "Is there any way I can get one locally?" And he was like, "No, but I'm going to be in London. Was it tomorrow or the next day?" I was like, because he was looking at the Silver Nemesis Cyberman that I was thinking about making a kit of it, right? And so he just come from viewing the new Cyberman. He said they are phenomenal, right? They are absolutely phenomenal. And if you don't remember, they had like the cricketer gloves for hands,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
And they
like
really
me,
good.
you probably noticed every time a monster came back, like a veteran monster, I noticed every single tiny change.
Yes. But again, I love the 80s really had a good love affair with the I swear the Cybermen. Silver Nemesis, here we go.
A gentle evolution. I mean, I've always felt that Silver Nemesis was a bit of a crying shame, really. There's a good story underneath there somewhere.
See, I'm not sure there is. I remember the documentary they made about it on American TV. Was it Canadian or American TV? And it was, look, Cybermen are silver, and this is a silver anniversary. So that's why, it was just the stupidest things you could ever possibly hope to hear anybody say. Right, and you're absolutely right. The added scenes were detracted from it. Now, here's the weird thing, though. What really saved the story for me was the special effects. I loved it when they blew up Ace's boombox. Right?
Yeah.
What's a boombox called in 2024?
Ghetto Blaster.
Ghetto Blaster. Yeah. So that gets blown up by the Daleks in was it Resurrection or the Remembrance of the Daleks, and then the Doctor builds a new one and he uses it as a scanner and he sees a cyber fleet. And I love seeing the cyber ship come down and land. I just thought that was let me see if I can pull up that clip. There
are some nice ideas in Silver Nemesis, which is the best. That's the best I can find in my heart to say about it.
Oh yeah, no, there was a lot of great good ideas. The Ace with the catapult and the gold coins. I thought that was awesome. I
would have loved that had she not used the baseball bat a few weeks earlier, and that had been everything that this story did. Remembrance did so much better, and if it had been a year on, I'd have gone fair enough. But it was 6 weeks later.
That's totally fair. Hang on, when did they land? Let me see. Let me see if this is the cliffhanger for episode. At the episode 1, you saw them land.
That's right. And then in the cliffhanger to episode 2 is when the cyber fleets appear, isn't it? Thousands of them. They were invisible. Yeah. They were invisible, Ace.
Wait. No. Oh, yeah. That's the first time we see it.
Oh, the direction of this is so fucking flat as well. It's only when I see bits of it that I remember how poor some of this is.
Was it Chris Clough? It was actually normally
I'm afraid so. And no, I don't think it was actually. Because I usually enjoyed Chris's stuff.
Anyway, here, let me just play this effect shot.
No, it was Chris Clough. You're right.
Don't move! And the Nazis were just like two on the nose, whereas like the London fascists were just perfect, right? From the 1960s.
Yes, quite, yeah.
No, I love this. I'm like, this special effects are awesome.
They saved my life.
Don't thank them yet. We might live to regret it.
He really nailed that role by season 25. Oh.
Yeah, he was solid in this.
Right. And I like the new guns.
What are they?
Cybermen.
Okay, that's a near perfect cliffhanger. I think, everything else around it is bad. I agree with you. Like Lady Painful is embarrassing. The comedy thugs are embarrassing.
Perversely, I like Lady Painful. I think Fiona Walker was really good in that role, and I would have liked them to have done more with her. I wanted more of her than everything else. I didn't want the Nazis. Didn't really. The Cybermen were fine in principle, but they get in the way of.
Oh, you're saying if it was just a Lady Painful, so you're absolutely right. It would have been a lot better.
It would have been so much better. She was
a great villain, right? She was a great villain. Let's see what's on the discs. Because again, I'm even going to be watching this, glued to the screen. 3 episodes restored to HD. Commentary, Seth McCoy, Sophie ordered Andrew Cartmel. Perfect commentary track.
Yeah,
Action,
perfect.
Documentary. Yeah, that's okay, right? It's nothing that makes me go, oh yes, more of that. Optional CG visual effects. So yeah, these are the effects. There's new effects and everything, right? But they're not CG effects. Look, these are models.
Practical. Yeah, they're doing it with these and several other releases. The Blake 7 stuff, for example.
The Blake 7 one's the one I'm most excited about. But if you have time, I'm going to doing a review of what's the episodes? animals and was it what's not assassin? The one with the robot head, where the guy's clearly wearing.
Headhunter.
Headhunter. Okay, which again, I am loving Blake 7 right now. I'm so excited for the season 1 coming out. Anyway, behind the sofa, and like they're changing the people on each one now. So you got Sophie Fielding, Nicola Bryant, Janet Fielding, Mark Hardy. Oh, Mark Hardy's in this one. Bonnie Langford, Sylvester McCoy, Wendy Padbury, and Sarah Sutton. I mean, like, man, these nothing says I am completely retired than Wendy Padbury and Sarah Sutton appearing on these things. Like,
how many versions of Silver Nemesis are in the set? Does it say?
I would say minimally 3. Right, probably 3. We'll find out in a second. Did you read the thing about what they're doing to Happiness Patrol?
Yes, I've read about.
Really exciting.
I've read upon that extensively, and I think it's because the BFI thing was connected with that, and our panelist Anthony, he was there, and Ian Levine, as I'm sure you know, Ian went both times, so he's told me about it too, and so I've sort of. My eye hasn't been on. I don't know what they've done to the other 3 stories, or if I read about it when they first announced the release, I've forgotten about it in the 3 or 4 months in between.
So let me ask you, when they turned out they had the wrong episode, I read on Twitter that people were insanely pissed off, but the report was people got over it pretty quickly. What do you think the truth was?
Let's put it this way, if I'd have travelled from Birmingham to the London South Bank for the day,
right?
At the expense of a train fare, taking a day out, maybe even arranging accommodation to stay overnight, I'd be fucking furious.
Yeah.
I'd be ready to chin someone.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
seriously, I would have done. I'd have been absolutely furious, and I certainly wouldn't have gone back.
Well, it's okay. They had a drag queen, so everything was okay. They got Adam Carter Matthew Sweet. That's going to be great. All right, that's going to be a really good conversation. Makeup Doctor Who from '88, the New Jersey Network documentary. It's garbage, but it's fun to watch.
I wonder what the drag queen was called. Do you think it was Helen Anus or something like that?
No, she had to have an official drag queen name. Open air expert featuring viewers complaint. Oh man, did I feel bad for Sylvester? And is this the one with? No, this is not the one with Chris Chibnall, right? But I worked out earlier that the Kamala Harris campaign for president was every time I come out of a Jewish holiday has had another implosion, right? She did a town hall last night, which was
it's ridiculous.
Right.
All of it is completely ridiculous.
The only advantage to her winning is it makes sense in an in-universe way that if Keir Starmer's Prime Minister of England for Kamala Harris, right? That kind of works. Other than that, but my point is this: I thought it struck me as like the same thing as Chris Chibnall writing Doctor Who. Like at one point, a light gets shined on you, and if you have talent, you have talent, and if you don't, you don't. You people didn't.
Did you see the other day they tried to get, I think it was yesterday or the day before, they tried to get Power of the Doctor trending on Twitter as some sort, because it was 2 years since the end of the Jodie Whittaker era. They were trying to make out like it was like a major thing, that something huge ended 2 years ago. It was a fucking nightmare. All of it.
The only good thing about the current era is it ended the previous era. Oh, if only it would have been better. New Jersey Network interview with Chris Clark. That's interesting. 5th anniversary interview with Sophie Aldred. And who's Droka Niradzic?
Did the makeup, didn't she?
I have no idea. Trials of PDFs. And okay, we got the special edition. 3 extended episodes restored to HD. I think they should have made it into a movie-length one. New visual effects. So you can have the new effects on the restored version or the original effects. Silver Nemesis special edition with new effects, 5.1 sound. That looks like the same thing? I don't understand. Oh, you also get the 93 extended version. God help us. Fine. Okay, let's see what Pete Petit has to say. Right. Wait. to fine. So the official 25th anniversary still hasn't been priced by family as highly as it might be because it's shit. I come on. And we both love Doctor Who, and we're saying it's shit.
Yes, absolutely awful.
Does Pete McTeague think the new extended edition can go some way towards restoring its reputation? No, Pete, come on, mate. It's not going to happen. I mean, look, it'd be great if it does, but no.
I like how he says, I really hope so. Oh,
really
bless him.
So. I mean, maybe we can put some more lesbians in it. That's probably what it needs. Like, what would the show be like without somebody trans or lesbian in it? I can't even imagine that.
I think we don't want to live in that world, do we?
We certainly don't live in a world, that's for sure. I really hope so. I think both the middle stories of this season suffer from being sandwiched between two classics. I don't know. Happiness Patrol didn't suffer at all. Remembrance is an obvious heavy hitter, and a lot of people really love Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I love Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Oh my, I like it a lot.
I'd like to love it because I think there's a lot to recommend that, and it's certainly far better than this. But I always feel the Greatest Show is an episode too long, in a way. They never got it quite right with a lot of these stories. The format.
For me, that was the real birth of this new era, right? This entire season was like a birth of a whole new year.
What I find when I watch Greatest Show, it's such a relief to see Doctor Who being competently made and paced and balanced that I forgive the fact that it's flabby and a little lacking in flavour. The fact that it comes together and is recognisably Doctor Who at this point, in a way that Remembrance had been too. I love Happiness Patrol for what it is. I think that works really, really well. So you got a nice contrast with those three stories. For me, the outlier is this. I sincerely think this is the very bottom of the barrel. Undeservedly so. I think a lot of effort probably went into it. And I know it's not like I ever skip it when it comes to watching stuff, but I do wince through a lot of it.
Yeah, I'm like that. But I'm like that with Delta and the Bannerman and Paradise Tales for that matter. And I wince quite a lot from Time Lorani, and also
I think because season 24 is. I tend to look back on them more because obviously each year of the show in the 80s when I was a child each season was kind of lived as a whole. So I remember the peaks and valleys every single week. I remember what I used to get the piss taken out of me for in the playground the most or the least. It really was. It was like going into the ring for 14 weeks. And when Doctor Who didn't come out swinging, we sort of as fans tried to make up for it. Really,
for me, I had the opposite experience. This was the one where my contemporaries really started to really enjoy it. As people got into drugs and weed and sex, this style of Doctor Who became much more like. People liked was it Remembrance of the Daleks because it was good old-fashioned Dalek-y story.
Everyone loved that. The show was really back at the top for those 4 weeks, and it all died the week after. As soon as the Candyman came on screen, that was it. And nobody at my school.
Candyman. Look, if it wasn't that they changed the word progressive to mean raping children or whatever at this stage, I would describe myself as a very progressive guy.
No, me too. I always liked Happiness Patrol and the Candyman. I winced a bit at it at the time, but generally speaking, it's never really bothered me ever since. But the general population never gave it a day in court after that. I
found people like normies really like Greatest Show, right? Again, I could have. I did. In that time of life, I would have a bunch of friends around to my place every day, literally every day, right? Yeah. For a obscene smoking sesh, right? And in my teenage years, and we'll put stuff onto Veg Out. People like Greatest Show. They're like, man, this is cool, right? It was like different. And they kind of continued that with the Stranger videos. That first one, the second one. had had that same kind of weird vibe, and also it was in Reddington. Chief Gatwa, a fantastic villain, right? Just an absolutely fantastic villain.
Yeah, to be fair, he is one of the most memorable villains in 80s Doctor Who, maybe even in all of Doctor Who.
Yeah, just a wonderful performance. Anyway, so we'll see. We're not talking about Silver Nemesis for a good reason. Again, with Silver Nemesis, there's a lot of footage lost in the edited out version. So there's a good amount back in there, but there's almost 10 minutes of new footage, which really helps flesh out the story. Well, see, that's probably the problem.
Exactly.
We don't need to be. I don't need to see Ace's portrait, in Buckingham.
The story is so thin, so ill-conceived that the more you get of it, the worse it is.
Yes. It doesn't improve with added ingredients. Okay, so and again with so I think there's about 10 minutes new footage in the flesh out zone. And again with digital editing, I'll be able to go back and just tighten the sequences and make them feel a lot faster and pacier. That will probably help a lot.
Fair point, yeah.
That will probably help a lot. The big battle between the Cybermen and the soldiers, I thought they were Nazis. Nazi soldiers? I think so. Anyway, has been completely recut from scratch with a lot of new scenes between Sylvester and Sophie and some big surprises that will let viewers discover themselves. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That is exciting. Yeah. The new effects really help sell the story. Again, I like the old effect, but that's just me for you. He continues, there's a new effect of the Cyber Fleet, new effects of the Nemesis Comet. Well, yeah, they could have used that. That's true. It was just like, no, I take it back. That was quite a good Mike Tucker.
Yeah, I thought the model of that was absolutely fine. You see, when he says it makes the whole thing feel more expansive, yeah, I like that. And a bit more modern. I don't need it to look modern at all, really.
But
I think
the Comet.
I mean, I still love that title sequence.
Yeah, the title thing here. That little globe thing. Really impressive. I mean, like for the era, just really impressive.
At the time, that was a great special effect. Really, really good.
We're about to see the Cyber Fleet.
That's terrible.
I don't know. I mean, look, the direction's bad, but I like the Lady Painford. You're right. I hadn't thought of that before. Take out the Cyber. I mean, maybe keep the Cybermen, but take out the Nazis. It gets a lot better.
If you take out everything but Lady Painford, and you've got this obsessed woman from hundreds of years ago who's put scientists to work to create this way of time traveling, because I think it's a fantastic story. It should have been sort of really pared down. They could have made it a two-parter. It wouldn't have made a very good 25th anniversary story, admittedly. No. But they had, you see, that where they fell down, they should have made the Dalek story the 25th anniversary story, and this should have been a two-part, maybe three-part, but say a two-part, far more pared down story that could have put this doctor, this sort of more psychological doctor, against an opponent who like travelled in time, just to get to him. That could have really, really worked. Just two parts, ideally, would have been great.
Right? Yeah.
That's what I'd have done.
Yeah. I hear it. Anyway,
less is sometimes more, and just the title Nemesis would have been absolutely fine. The idea that it's a human being as well and not an alien, that a human being would do that, would go to extreme lengths.
Right. Yeah. No, that does make sense. Anyway, here we're going to see the effect for the comet. Yeah, it's not bad.
That's perfectly fine for the time.
Yeah.
Not so.
I mean, it could have been on a bit of an angle. You're making a fair point there.
Not so much that. It's those cyber ships. It's terrible.
Yeah. Okay, that looks better. Let's be fair. That looks totally better. Okay, fine. So they've got a new thing in. I've always loved it, and I think the new edition gives you more of what you love if you love the story. don't really. But okay, look, Pete, mate, this is all looking good so far.
I can't knock him for that, because if you've got your favourites and you've got your little things and your wrongs that you want to put right, if you want to be the Sam Beckett for Silver Nemesis, Pete, you go for it, pal.
Yes. The extra features include scenes dropped from this special edition. What are they? There's a couple of onion scenes that I didn't put back in, so there's a little deleted scenes package. Okay, blah, blah, blah. They were cut for good reasons because they don't work for the narrative or the pace of the story. They seem okay, fine. So this is going to be good. Matthew Sweet interviewing Andrew Cartmel, right? Two clever people. Clever people, probably both completely captured by the woke mind virus.
Completely.
Is Matthew Sweet still screaming about COVID and masks? Because, like, Matthew, get over
it. I assume so. I mean, when you get him off the subject of sort of entertainment and literature, he's a card-carrying sort of...
Yeah, exactly.
He's completely intolerable.
He's somebody who would say the old people not getting their winter fuel allowance is good because they don't deserve it.
He'd be completely down for that, yeah.
Right. Oh, no. Again, I like how they have the shuttles in the new version look like the shuttles in the... off for
the telly. Yeah, it's a nice touch.
Yeah, it's nice. The box set also includes an omnibus version of the story. I've always felt that actually there's a version of Silver Nemesis that would be better if it was a shorter. Well, we all agree with you there.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Some quite extraneous sequences there. By the way, a complete side point. Somebody asked me in the chat. D asked me in the chat, who was the better Dracula, Bela Lugosi or Christopher Lee? So I went and looked on Wikipedia for all the different Draculas. So I think who was the best. They had a whole section about porn parodies. I'm like, what? Like, I'm not arguing there are Dracula porn parodies, but like, this is not really. I mean, like, they're porn parodies of everything, right? Ghostbusters, right? You can have literally. So I don't know what, but they had a long section on that. So I had it down to the best were, I think, Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee, Gary Oldman, and I like Klaus Bang in the Stephen Moffat. He
was great.
Yeah, which I thought he was actually very good in it.
I only saw the Bela Lugosi Dracula about 5 or 6 years ago for the first time. I've never been a big sort of horror guy, and so I've never gone back too far until then. And I was, I don't say blown away, but I was captivated by what he was doing.
It was definitely a performance. Have you ever seen that Martin Landau movie by Tim Burton? What's it called again? About the making of his last movie, Plan 9 from Outer Space?
Oh, you mean Ed Wood?
Ed Wood, yeah. That's
film.
great. Martin Landau, Commander Koenig playing aging Bela Lugosi. Let's see if I can pull out that clip.
I'd even go so far as to say that's still Tim Burton's best movie, and I like Tim Burton. I'm not a...
Oh, I like him as well. Martin Landau, Bela...
I don't think he's ever really topped that.
1 second. There's a great line where he pures... was it profanity? And they talk a lot about him being like this massive drug addict. Yeah, 1 second.
I do like Christopher Lee, but Christopher Lee does in the part what you'd expect Christopher Lee to do.
At the time, love Christopher Lee so much, that it is. I can forgive it. Yeah, 1 second. Let me play this. Ed Wood. So it's always shooting up and doing heroin in it.
Mr. Lugosi?
Oh, this is a great scene.
I know you're very busy, but can I have your autograph?
Certainly.
Is he still alive, Martin Landau?
No, he died. He didn't die that long ago. It was 3 or 4 years ago. It was
right.
He lived to a ripe old age.
You know which movie of yours I love, Mr. Lugosi?
This is a great line.
The Invisible Ray. You were great as Karloff's sidekick.
Karloff? Sidekick? Fuck you! Karloff does not deserve to smell my shit! That limey cocksucker can rot in hell for all I care!
What happened?
How dare that asshole bring a Karloff? You think it takes talent to play Frankenstein? It's all makeup and grunting.
Bella, I agree 100%. Now, Dracula, that's a role that requires talent.
Of course, Dracula requires presence. It's all in the eyes and the voice and the head.
You know, there is somebody in Canada we both know who, if you treat this way, you'll get gold out of it. Just pure gold.
That's right. That's right. You
I've no idea who you mean.
You want to go outside and get some air?
Bullshit! I'm ready now. Roll the camera.
Anyway, we're not talking about Silver Nemesis. I think that's indicative.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. What is there to really say about it? I mean, I'd like to hear Pete McTee and people like him who really love it sort of wax lyrical about it, I suppose, but it's still Silver Nemesis.
The rest of the season is so gorgeous. The rest of the box set's so fantastic. I can forget pretty much anything.
It's like when you talk to a massive Crossroads fan and they tell you in great depth about the show, and then you think, oh, it sounds great, and you go and watch an episode and it's fucking terrible.
It's breathtaking how bad it is, right? When you say, I can't work out why there's not they don't have the full archive of it on YouTube or something. People would still go to it. They really would. Anyway, like the Skinhead and Dolores Gray as American Tory Mrs. Remington. Yeah, that was why. Cut those out completely.
Well,
right.
Again, absolute indulgence. I think, in all honesty, I think that at this point, even though Nathan Turner has sort of stepped away from the involvement that he did have, a lot of his excesses are very present in this. I think as soon as he twigged that this was going to go out in line with the anniversary, the old JNT came back to the surface, and we get a succession of very, very stupid decisions right across the board, which are far, far worse than they would have been like 2, 3, 4 years ago. Because by this point, he was slightly distanced from it because Cartmel had taken over so much of it. So the decisions that he made stand out even more, and they really harm the finished thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, because this was all about bumps on seats, essentially, wasn't it? Having to.
It works with the two doctors. He gets away with turning what was an excuse to go and get pissed in Spain for 3 weeks on the license fee pay. He gets away with that because 3 years earlier he was in complete control of the entire thing.
Yeah, and everything was going great. It was casting Colin Baker that went off the rails. That's really where his life went off the rails. Anyway, so was it? So they say they've taken those out. Apparently, the skinheads and Doris Gay. Once you take those things out, it's amazing how much the story tightens up. Okay, so as a little experiment, I've done a cut that's kind of like a 1970s Christmas omnibus, a 1 hour cut, and it's great. Oh, that I'm going to be looking forward to seeing. So if
I'll
you
watch
don't
that.
like Silver Nemesis, maybe you like the shorter version. I bet that's for you, right? I bet that's for you.
Yeah, cheers, Pete.
There are so many versions of Silver Nemesis on the set. There's the transmitted version, the VHS version. That VHS cover was awful, by the way. They had great VHS covers coming out month after month, and then you had this awful photo montage one, right? they were mainly, was it Andrew Skilleter? Oh, they were gorgeous, right?
When you put this one on the shelf next to all of those, it just looked like somebody had snotted it out into the middle of your collection.
Yes, it did. It looked like
unreal.
It out. That's true. Which is basically just had some extra scenes hacked into it. I think it's a fair way of saying it, because they couldn't afford to do any music cue extensions, and so it's a very clumsy edit. But it's presented here as it appeared on the VHS. They should have added a little bit of static to it. That would have been fun. Then there's you have that as an optional extra, static version or regular. Omnibus version, the new special edition. I kind of hope we'll get everybody the definitive version, so we got more than you could ever hope to see. Well, again, of Silver Nemesis, that is very true, right? That is very, very true. I can't argue with you there. Okay, so listen, that certainly sounds exciting me about coming out in Doctor Who. Do you have anything that you're excited about in the worlds of Doctor Who coming out in the near future?
Do I have anything? Well, apart from the content, the fantastic content on the Type 40 channel.
You can tell us about
do I have? There's all the usual stuff that everybody else is. There's some great DVDs, Blu-rays coming out. There's some books coming out as well, connected with sort of graphic design and typography, which I know is a bit bit wanky.
Yeah,
but I do like that stuff. So I'm all over that. There's not so much, actually. I mean, I know that DWM have launched this new bookazine range in the slipcases and things, which seem exactly the same as the others to me. So for me, it's still the Blu-rays, just to keep an eye on what's coming out there. And I think I just wish there was something... I wish the brand was a little more alive, in line with how the series is now. I wish it was all working so much better, because by now I should have feasted on the season 1 box set, and there should have been some lovely extras in there that we could still have been talking about. So it all feels a bit muted to me for a series that's on. For a series that's on and should be coursing with life, the things that I am looking forward to and enjoying are all things from the classic era, really.
Crazily, yes. Okay, so there's one thing going on which currently in Doctor Who, which I really enjoy, right? Which is moving forward, which is, and it's strange because it's coming from Big Finish, the War Doctor, right? I love what they're doing with him. They just changed the format, so instead of having 3 individual stories, you have one much bigger story, and it works so much better, right? So the new trailer just came out for the next one, coming out in December, which again, the thing I'm most looking forward to. Oh, I haven't downloaded it. It's the thing I'm most looking forward to right now in Doctor Who, right? It's got a sexy Mavellan in it. Well, at least she looks sexy.
Oh, I saw the artwork. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. Look, I've got a soft spot for Mavellans. I loved seeing the Mavellans in that Capaldi episode. Like blink and you miss it. They were fantastic. Yeah,
so did I.
Well, so let me pull up this trailer. Let's see what. Let's see if it's a good trailer and see what you think of it. Right? Like share screen. Doink.
Lateral phase shift attained in perfect synchronization with disrupted channel. Objective requested. From Big Finish.
Okay, so first it's a good trailer because it starts off with the Dalek. I like that. You can't really see because the what's it good in the waveform is covering it, but this is the Spider Dalek. Here, so I can get the.
Yeah, I saw the clean artwork. Again, beautifully done. I think this is by a guy called Sean Longmore.
Yeah. I mean, it's really what some of the best stuff I've seen. But okay, so if you've been following Big Finish with the War Doctor and the Time War, this is a Dalek character they've had as a recurring character, the Time Strategist Dalek. But now again, it seems to be like merged with the. I'm going to pull up the clean art in a minute. Seems to be merged nicely with the 2005 era. Oh, I just noticed that. Okay. This cover is great, right? Because I'm now seeing that there's a lot more stuff, and I'm interested.
Yeah,
you've got the sights in the background. That's from Deadly Assassin, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. That comes out of. I don't know. There's some kind of new alien. You got Ogron's in here, and I can't see who the bloke is. But hey, let's carry on playing.
Productions. Doctor Who, The War Doctor Rises. Unknown soldiers.
Objective received.
Testament. The leader.
I am Paz, commonly known as Paz the Traitor, Paz the Turncoat, Paz the Despicable, etc.
I know who you are, by the way.
Paz.
So, okay, one thing I'm concerned about already is seemingly everybody in it is a woman, other than the Doctor, right? And again, I don't mind. Just sometimes, can we have a bloke in Doctor Who, right? Just sometimes, I don't think I'm being churlish for that.
If that's your real name.
Paz is an old Gallifreyan insult. My true name was rewritten throughout all of history as part of my punishment.
Yes, Paz is the boss. Testament. The bank.
I am Regent Lunim alias Rogue of the Rogian Empire.
Worst king ever.
We shall reclaim what is mine by birthright.
An emotion spliced Mavellan, a disgraced Gallifreyan spy, and a deposed monarch.
Emotion spliced Mavellan. Is that a good idea? I don't know. Mavellans are good for being like very flat, right? And again, whenever I say Mavellan, I forgive him anything because Susan Dando made a very, very strong impression in, was it 1980, 1981? What year was
79, 80, yes.
79, there you go.
Testament. The brains. I am known as All Morale, and I'm an augmented Mavellan, which means I've got a mind of my own.
I'm kind of bored, okay? I mean, honestly, it feels like they got, a very attractive black lady player, but so she can say things, I've got a mind of my own, right? That's what it
depends.
Like.
It depends where she's augmented. If we're talking like, say, 36 EE, I'm down for that.
That's an augment we can all get behind, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. The bouncy castle augment.
I came up with this algorithm that maps every possible timeline in a conflict. There's only one instance where the war ends with that reality ending too. One junction in the quantum tangle.
Okay, I don't know why I'm excited for this, right? Because everything is screaming, run away from it. Like a stunning and brave. Oh God, it's all been pretty good so far. I don't know what to tell you. Like the Dark Gallifrey Morbius thing, I thought was very good, and it segued very nicely into the War Doctor. It was like a prequel to the War Doctor Morbius release. But okay, the trouble with Dark Gallifrey remains. Right, that first 3 episodes, where it's focused on Morbius, was a sequel to the Morbius real story, right? Where he had like he led a populist revolution on Gallifrey. That could be like 5 seasons of like Game of Thrones politics and sci-fi battles.
Yeah, I don't see why there's not a full-time series all about Morbius. The character is that strong, and when you've got Sam West to play him too,
he's so good at it.
It could be equally as strong as a War Doctor range.
Yeah. I don't think they put it together. I don't know.
Really lean into the kind of the horror kind of angle as well. Make it all very Hinchcliffian. That's what I would do. As if that era, that range.
Right, it'll become out like iClaudian, because like when you do like Hinchcliffian, right, your mind goes to that era, and you want to put like weird political backstabbing intrigue in it. It's iClaudius essentially.
Anything you do with a character like Morbius, it should be like it's permanently 1976.
I don't disagree.
One slip of the knot.
Okay, how long has this been playing? So it's a minute and a half. I've heard War Doctor for one line. I don't want to hear from you. Stunning and brave girls are the key to fucking everything. Let me hear the War Doctor.
One crucial event.
For the Time War to truly end, this man we see before us must die. And we have to kill him.
Testament. The wild card.
No, my name is not important. They're calling me the wild card.
I'm not talking.
I mean, man, he's very good. To John Hurt, okay? He's very good.
Superb.
Stopping the Daleks.
Dalek fleet is in near stasis. Phase Dalek is not. Phase Dalek operating at maximum efficiency and will transmit into battle.
Incoming from all directions!
See.
They do the action stuff well in the War Doctor range there.
Locate. Destroy.
Big finish for the love of stories.
Okay, I'm still buying it, even though they've done everything they can possibly to make me not want to buy it.
The beauty of this line is that they can do so much with it. In the Doctor, or the War Doctor, or whatever he calls himself or isn't calling himself, can lead some stories and take steps back from others, because it's almost like like a war campaign. This is going to be the only chronicle of that time we're going to have, and I don't mind that at all. Jonathan Carley is.
I think if you're doing a Doctor Who story, you've got to have Doctor Who front and centre.
Right? Yeah, usually I'd agree. Usually I'd agree, but there's something about stuff that's set in the Time War, particularly with this character, because the choices that he's made are so different that I'm open to the stories being told in a different way, and for the Doctor's part in events to be different, because we've got the conventional stuff with McGann before he becomes the War Doctor,
Right.
Everything the Eighth Doctor is doing is still very Doctorish. So otherwise, I think these would be Paul McGann stories without Paul McGann, which wouldn't be fair on Jonathan Carlin. It wouldn't be a reflection of how Hurt had developed the character on screen. So I see the difficulty they've got with it.
But okay, if this is a fair representation of that release, I mean, look here. Let me pull up the previous.
Too many chicks talking. Too many characters. I don't know who any of them are. If one of them had been
right,
well, if one of them was Leela, great. But
or
Vecklin, or somebody I know from other Big Finish lines, but I don't know any of these birds are.
so this one was good because it had the War Doctor front and center. Right, it was about him, and it was about Morbius, right? And also, it had this really good plot line where it started like this is kind of a sequel to the War Doctor Begins range, right? Where he's been suffering for the last couple of years with temporal toxemia. That if he moves in time, his skin burns up, and it's incredibly painful for him. So he's been stuck, healing on Card. I think there's a Sister of Khan in it, and Morbius turns up. But it's like it's like a good mini series, right? Or something that you would have, like an epic you would have on over Christmas.
See where I think that Big Finish sorry, Big Finish, if you're listening. This is where I feel that they go wrong. The title, Morbius the Mighty, wrong. This is what I mean. It should sound like it's 1976. It should be called The Mighty Morbius.
I don't know. I'm going to disagree with you here, and I'll tell you why. Because I think this is. Well, I think the character, is very rooted. And I think the Morbius monster is much more rooted in 1976.
They should all sound schlocky, in my opinion.
But no, this sounds very modern. This sounds like what 2000s Doctor Who should sound like. So for me, that works because Morbius is a character that we didn't really see in the original series, right? Now it's but look, Soundwest portrayal was very good. But this one, again, look, I am 100% captured by the sexy Mavellan. But I'll be clear. And then you throw in
surrender. To the hot
bronze, and you got the Spider Dalek. Spider Dalek's awesome. I'm sorry. That Spider Dalek looks freaking incredible. Right? And I know it's audio, but and Timothy X Attack is also quite good. So What can I tell you? Look, they do admit in it. Look at that. I don't know who they are. Fine. Okay. Another thing I appreciate, whoever's playing the sexy Mavellan,
there she is.
Looks like her in real life. Like this looks like the same person. Like I can imagine her playing this role. Whereas they had the companion with Harry Sullivan, who was just awful, right? I'm sorry, it was just not very good. Don't know what to tell you. Although Big Finish has 2 very good free things out right now, I really strongly recommend. I downloaded them because I like them so much.
They've made the 4 Doctors free, haven't they, to make up for the app going down for about 3 months.
Here, one second. But they also
I've got that on CD, but
it's worth getting just because it's so much more convenient. And Time of the Daleks, like it's freaking awesome. Like totally. If you have Doctor Who magazine, get yourself there.
I'm glad you like this too, because this has always been one of my favourite audios. Time of the Daleks, I think it's wonderful.
It's so connected thematically to Evil of the Daleks, right? And it's so weird as well because you have the Daleks quoting Shakespeare, and it really works weirdly enough. And okay, listen, I'm sorry if I'm being too Jewish about this. Let me be clear: it's free, okay? It's free. Take it.
Anybody who's ever been in 2 minds about sampling audio Doctor Who or not, and would it be enough for them? This absolutely is.
This is a good one to check out. I agree with you. And I haven't started listening to 4 Doctors, which is also free right now. But here's the thing, though, right? I'm listening in the middle of listening to what's it called? Stuff of Legend, which it's okay. Wait, is it? This one, and I keep turning off to listen to Time of the Daleks. Right, because it's so much it's just so much better. Quality has dropped so much, and you really don't realize. And look, I mean, this is a fun romp. It's Alex McQueen as a master. It's got Robo-Men in it. It's a fun romp, but it's not as good as Time of the Daleks. It just really isn't. sadly enough.
My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.